An EV graveyard in Chicago? My next guest has been warning about this. Marc Morano knows what's going on, and he's going to tell us next. I did notice when it was 17 below zero in Iowa that the phone battery just didn't last as long as it normally does. Well, it looks like the same thing is happening to those electric vehicles that the Democrats want you to get. Chicago area EV owners learned that the hard way this week.
Oh, we got a bunch of dead robots out here.
No juice, it's still on 0%. And this is like 3 hours this morning being out here, after being out here 8 hours yesterday.
Has it been charging?
No, not at all.
It just isn't working?
At all. It's just frozen, and so I'm getting it towed.
These are unusually cold temperatures, but do you find this acceptable?
No, not at all.
Joining me now is Marc Morano, publisher and executive editor of Climate Depot. Marc, how dangerous is something like this?
Well, imagine if the Biden administration's wish were reality and gas-powered cars were banned and people could only be driving EVs. You would have a catastrophe on your hands of people stranded everywhere. I would argue this is a feature, not a bug. I mean, this is part of making travel, freedom of movement more difficult. The more we're stuck with cars that don't work, cars that take a long time to charge, the more they think they'll force us into mass transit, subways, buses, and the earth will smile. This is what the ideologues at Davos are pushing. This is what the Biden administration is pushing.
Well, the administration is saying this whole push for like range anxiety. People have range anxiety. That's all just made up.
His own Energy Secretary, Jennifer Granholm, with NPR in tow, had to have range anxiety in the summer in August, and she had to cut off a pregnant woman with her child, with an infant, to charge at the charging station. They were so desperate to have a feel-good PR trip. Pete Buttigieg had similar problems. They can't even get their own administration to have this EV vehicles go well. This is akin to what we saw in the old Soviet Union, particularly East Germany, I think of, with the Trabant, where the government said you can only have one government-approved car, the crappy East German Trabant, which we had a waiting list for 10 years. And now fast forward, the once free West, Europe, United States, Canada, we're emulating that insane stuff we laugh about.
Trump was totally right. Trump was totally right when he looked at those auto workers and he said, this deal, yeah, whatever, but they're putting you out of business. This EV thing is going to put you out of business.
Was it Trump's 2013 tweet about global warming invented to help China? China is now passing Japan as the #1 global exporter of cars, an invasion of Chinese cars, a Chinese maker.
No, we're done.
It's because they have the monopoly on EV. As I say, EVs dig the earth, and that's what China has a monopoly on.
Now, I want to show a picture of this very sad charging station. Sure. This was 9:30 or so last night, and I'm leaving this restaurant with my dear friend, my dear college best friend. I'm leaving the restaurant. Look at this poor charging station. Wow. I almost felt sorry for it. Look at it. Look at the snow around it. It was just like all over the place. See these charging stations locked up. I guess there was a light on it. But I want to play this one thing that John Kerry said, because he was responding to all of the people who feel like, I can't have an EV because it won't take me far enough. Yeah. Watch.
There has been a very, very clear policy, which regrettably has been attacked by people who are engaged in high levels of disinformation. They've been trying to scare people about the range of vehicles, so there's range anxiety out there.
Yeah, you don't have that with a private jet funded by Theresa Heinz Kerry.
No, you don't. And for John Kerry to say this is misinformation, this is actually, we're seeing it in real time. We're watching it happen to Biden administration officials. And now you have the spectacle, because they know this is slipping, the EV mandate, and a lot of the solar people are catching on. Al Gore at the same Davos meeting is now saying, once we achieve the political goal of net zero, which is essentially was pulled out of thin air, according to top UN scientists.
Social distancing.
The Earth's temperature will stop rising almost immediately within 3 years. He's pulling a COVID thing, like wear your mask, do the lockdown, get the vaccine, and everything will be better very quick. They're literally pushing this now. 3 years and we'll stop global warming, and it's over. We never have to hear about it again, according to what we're hearing from Davos.
The gas bags are always at it. They're the ones who add to the temperature. Marc, great to see you.
Thank you.